Yes.
So we had a lifing situation this morning, but here we are. We are on the air with you, WBOK family of listeners. The talk line is 504 582 9422, 504 582 9482. If you got something on your mind, you got something to share. If you've got a question, as my daddy used to say decades ago when he was on the radio, we'll do our best to give you an answer. But if we
Yes.
don't, we'll give you a response.
That's right. I like that.
All right. So, folks, again, the usual warning. It's 7:10 a.m. and the school zone speeds are in effect. The limits are in effect. So please, please, please be careful. Watch our babies and those with them, the takers and the assistant principals and some of everybody else, and take care of yourself. And if you got somewhere to be at 7:15, you got 5 minutes, so I hope it's close. But take care of yourself and be careful out there. It's such a beautiful day. I hate to have any of you all mess up your day with unnecessary accidents or injuries or worse. Well, we've got a lot of news that's been happening, not the least of which is on the local scene. Big, 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 big news for Xavier University.
That's right.
Man, $38 million. $38 million
Congratulations, Xavier.
from Mackenzie Scott. Imagine being that wealthy that you can give not one institution that kind of money, but a number of institutions that kind of money. So this puts Ms. Scott over $700 million in donations just to HBCUs. So that doesn't include some of the other donations and gifts that she has provided. And she's got a wealth of more than $40 billion.
Wow.
I can't imagine being $1 billion or 1 billionaire. And she's a 40 billionaire and dedicated to giving away so much of her wealth. So this is a $38 million donation from Mackenzie Scott for Xavier University. Wonderful opportunity, even more wonderful. And for those of you all who are in higher ed, and even some other education and nonprofit programs, a lot, even church, sometimes when you are making your tithes or your gifts, your offerings, you are designating the funds. Yes. I want my money to go to this, or I want 10% of my $100 to go to this. I want $20 to go to that. I want $50 to go to this. Well, these are unrestricted funds.
Wow.
Unrestricted funds. So they are not limited in the way that they have to use this. And I was so excited when I saw the news, actually from my colleague Marie Fazio, who sits 2 desks away from me, but I didn't know she was reporting on this story. But I was so excited when I saw her story pop up that I immediately reached out to President Verrett, and I didn't get him. And I sent him a note, and I didn't get him. And the reason I didn't get him is because the brother's in Rome.
Wow.
So he's in Rome.
Yes.
But I got him.
Yes.
I got him. So I had a good conversation with him yesterday. And he's very excited, of course. And for those who might not remember, it was just a few years ago that Mackenzie Scott donated $20 million to Xavier University. So with a donation, that specific donation, I mean, there's a lot of legalese that goes involved with the tremendous gift. But one of the points is that do not be expecting more.
Wow.
All right. So don't. I mean, this is a gift.
Yes.
Be happy. You're receiving it. This is not one part of 10 or one part of 3. This is the gift. Here it is. Receive. Be happy. So they were not anticipating this $38 million.
Isn't that something?
And Dr. Verrett went through the last few weeks and went through all of homecoming holding a secret because he found out on November 6th.
Wow.
He found out on November 6th when the foundation office called him, but they agreed that nothing would be said until the funds were transferred. So Xavier University has the money in the bank.
In the bank.
How about that?
That's a bell ringer and everything else.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Mackenzie Scott is doing such wonderful work, generally with her foundation, her Thrive Foundation, and just some of the others that have received big money from her. Philander Smith University got $19 million recently. Prairie View A&M got $63 million recently. North Carolina A&T State University got $63 million. I mean, Howard University got $80 million. And of that $80 million, $17 million is specifically for the medical college.
Awesome. Awesome.
I mean, there are a lot of higher education institutions need money for all kinds of things. And no offense to our area of the liberal arts, but in English and reading and so forth, we need books, we need paper, well,
yes.
sort of.
Yes.
We need tools, we need computers. But in the sciences and with medicine, you need all kinds of equipment, and you have to keep refreshing it. And there's the research component. And so $17 million for Howard's Medical College, and then an $80 million total. And these are some that she has given just recently. So I just wanted to give some context to this $38 million for Xavier, which all of us, whether we are associated with Xavier or not, should be very excited that that kind of money is coming to this Catholic HBCU.
I'm excited, Will, and I'll tell you, I hope it sparks interest in other billionaires to start giving to HBCUs. And I'm glad I think we have 106 HBCUs now still present with us. I hope it sparks an interest in others to start giving as well. But great job. Great news.
Yep. It's a huge gift. The money will be invested so that it can help more students, with what they're able to, get thrown off from the investment. So that will vary each year. But it's a wonderful, wonderful gift, wonderful opportunity for Xavier University to be included in that number, so to speak, that number, $38 million.
That's great news to start the show. That's great news.
Yep. Well, meanwhile, we got schools news too, and I guess we'll be talking about this for a bit. So Sarah T. Reed High School is being closed again. So
wow.
I know there are Reed alums who are disappointed with that decision. We've got a real situation here with our schools in New Orleans. Even if you set aside the charter issue that, a number of people have concerns about, and other people are very happy with their charter schools for their kids. Even if you set that aside, we don't have enough kids in these public schools. And so that affects the enrollment at the different schools. when you affect the impact of the enrollment, you affect the amount of money, you affect the amount of money, you affect the quality, you affect the quality, you're not able to perform as a school as well as you might with some better resources. So that's one of the things that Sarah T. Reed is facing.
Will, I would love to hear from some of the parents about their concerns about this news as well. You know, if you get a chance, give us a call. We'd like to hear from you.
Yep, 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. And meanwhile, we have other school news where there's not a closure yet, but the Leah Chase School is big decisions going to have to be made by the school board because the enrollment is so low and the deficit is getting larger that the school board has two choices: deep cuts, including at least 12 layoffs, or close the school.
Are they experiencing a $500 million deficit?
No.
Not that high?
No. But the Orleans Parish School Board had, one of the things that happens when you have a school, a non-charter school, is you have to have central office employees to back up the running of that school. Because for a long time, our school system essentially has been all charter, and the charter management organizations have handled the operations of the schools that they have the charters for. And since there's no charter for Leah Chase, the school district has to put things in place to run them. They can't rely on any particular charter organization. So they had to hire people and put folks in place, and part of that is adds up to about 15 central office employees, and some district-wide programs would have to be affected, and that's according to my colleague Marie Fazio, who's been all over this, following this, and now the school board. The school just opened last year.
That's right.
And they're on track to add sixth grade, but they are not having enough students. They got 343 students in kindergarten to fifth grade. Kindergarten to fifth grade, they've got 343 students. And looking at the data, I believe Marie said the number of parents that want to move their kids to Leah Chase is 22. So that's good. But the number of Leah Chase students, parents who want to leave Leah Chase is 20. So that's really a net of 2. Mm-hmm. And that's not a lot. Good morning, Reverend Calhoun. You're on with Will Sutton and Darrell Brown. Minister Darrell G. Brown, how are you, sir?
Good morning, Reverend Calhoun.
Gentlemen. How you doing? You notice there's a pattern here. MLK was closed last year, right?
Yes.
It was promoted as being a failed school. It wasn't. It was a D. It may not be what people wanted, but it was not failing at that point when it was closed. Same thing is happening with Reed. It's a D school. They're both citing low enrollment. Well, I do believe that we have a system of schools that's been designed for a number of children that we no longer have. So I'm of the opinion the only way that they can right-size this district is to close the consolidated schools. My concern is, well, who's next? What schools is coming up that's going to be closed next? Because I know you're reporting now on Leah Chase, but it seems like there's only a matter of time before uh, a number of schools is going to be closed or consolidated. So when will I would say the school board or somebody is sit down with the public and explain exactly what are we looking at, how to right size the district. My understanding is the system was built for 60,000 students. So now we're looking at maybe 40,000 at the most that's in the school.
Yep.
And if we want neighborhood schools for children to go to neighborhood schools, I think the easiest thing to do would be to stop the busing out of the community. So I'm just trying to figure out exactly where we're headed in terms of school closing and consolidation. Because I do think that this is going to come down to maybe 5 or 6 charter managements that will control the school system here in New Orleans. So that's my comments, and you got any, just I'll be back listening to you.
All right, hold on just a minute, Reverend Calhoun, because I know you've been on top of this issue for years,
Uh-huh.
and I hear what you're saying. But if we were to close schools, and some of them, as you certainly know, are really fabulous buildings. They just
Mm-hmm.
don't have enough students in them. If we were to close enough schools to accommodate, say, 35 to 40,000 students, that would be fewer buildings, fewer schools. And if we shut down busing, wouldn't it be uh, close to impossible for some students to walk to a school because there wouldn't be as many schools? You uh, probably wouldn't even have a school within 3 to 4 miles for a number of students. So I get the concept, but I'm not sure how that would work. Maybe that could work in certain parts of the
I'm,
city. And then by closing schools, we would also limit parent choice in terms of curriculum and philosophy of a school.
well, I think we go back to what it was, especially with elementary. In elementary, you walk to school. If you go back to your time, I know that was quite a few years
Yeah,
ago,
yeah, I was
a
down there
long,
with
a
you.
long. Yeah. But if you look at, if I could remember correctly, every student didn't have no more than 6 blocks to go or walk to get to an elementary school. The cost of busing takes a considerable amount of money out of the school's budget because each school has to pay for their busing, except those schools that says, okay, tell the parent that no, you're going to be responsible to get your child to and from school. If you go back to that concept, then you're gonna. I mean, you can right size the district by really sitting down and seeing where your concentration of students are and what facilities are in that area. If we sit down and have that real conversation and a real look at that, and I think, but right now, you looking at how much money is being put into our school system, right? How many deans and all that you had at your school when you went to elementary school?
I don't remember
Dean
any
of
deans.
students.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I
we
understand what
only
you're saying.
paid a principal and maybe an assistant principal. Outside of that, we didn't have all these other offices that we have now. So, and if you start looking at where these monies are really going and who's really profiting, these management groups are really making some serious money. So I know a lot of people like to reflect and say it's the leadership that's creating this, but to me, it's the uh, upper echelon of education that has really put things in place to make it difficult to pay for schooling in our neighborhoods.
All right.
Uh, yeah, if you look at one more thing, how much money is actually going into our school system and where is it really going? I know there's budgets and all of that, but I just would love to see exactly where is all this money actually being spent.
Reverend Calhoun, we're going to have to go to break, but Darrell has a quick question for you.
And really, it's a statement, Reverend Calhoun. Will made a great point that even if we were to close busing, stop busing, many students, and we were to go back to neighborhood schools, a lot of students will still be too far from the school to walk. So that's our dilemma. But thank you, Reverend Calhoun, for your point.
Well, I just think that there needs to be a real look at how to reorganize what buildings are in what, who would be left out, and what can we do. But I don't even think we're having conversation on it.
All right. Okay.
All right, Doc.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in, and you have a blessed day, Reverend Calhoun.
Thank you.
Do the same.
All right. Bye. All right, folks. We're going to take a break in just a moment. This is Will Sutton. I'm here with Minister Darrell G. Brown. This is the Good Morning Show on WBOK. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. On the show today, we're going to have a representative from the New Orleans Health Department to help us talk through our health and being healthy and things that we can do and watch out for. But coming up next, we're going to have Times-Picayune, NOLA.com reporter Ben Myers, one of my colleagues who's been digging into the horrible, incredible, unimaginable New Orleans City fiscal crisis. So this guy's been doing this like every day, and he's been digging into the what's, the whys, and the whens. And so we'll hear from Ben after the break. You're listening to WBOK, 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Morning and happy Wednesday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. Hundreds of Border Patrol agents could be in New Orleans by the end of the week. That is according to the Associated Press. The operation is part of President Donald Trump's illegal immigration crackdown, which has already taken place in cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, and most recently, Charlotte. Agents will reportedly focus on Orleans, Jefferson, St. Tammany, and St. Bernard parishes in our area. Staging is expected to begin by Friday with enforcement starting in December. Then happening today, the New Orleans City Council will vote on an ordinance that would let them pull millions of dollars from the city's rainy day fund. That's because loan money recently approved by the state might not make it in time to cover this week's payroll. Last week, the state approved a $125 million bond to help the city dig out of an estimated $160 million deficit. Today's ordinance would let the council take between $2 to $3 million from the rainy day fund in the event that funding does not come through in time. Also today, a judge could possibly sign an order to end the NOPD's consent decree. But city council members have unanimously adopted an ordinance that would essentially ban the department from making significant policy changes without the council's approval. The consent decree has been in place since 2012. And that's a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News. Have a great day.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets, we've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow us at WBOK 1230 now.
Hey, this is D. Riley from the 90s Hits R&B Jams. Make sure you listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday night from 7 until 9 p.m. I'll be giving you the best R&B jams from the 90s. That's right, all your favorites and more. With me, D. Riley, your host of the 90s Hits, right here on WBOK 1230 AM, or listen online at WBOK1230.com. WBOK, the station you listen to longer.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
You've got responsibilities, but that doesn't mean your dreams are on hold. At Southern University at New Orleans, our evening and weekend college is designed with your life in mind. Finish your degree, start a new one, on your time, your degree, your schedule, no excuses, just opportunity. Visit suno.edu and make your next move today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
I am Will Sutton, and here with me today is Minister Darrell G. Brown.
Good morning. It's
I
good to be
can't
back.
believe we didn't scare you away.
No.
It was comfortable? It was comfortable?
Oh, yes, yes.
You got back? I know you get up early anyway.
Yes.
But this is not the same thing as praying in the morning.
That's right. That's right.
You got a prayer line going.
I want to shout out to the
days,
prayer
right?
line. Thank you. Our prayer line, we meet every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah.
6 to 6:30. So I just leave a few minutes early to get here.
Yep.
On time.
Well, we're glad you left the Lord to come over here. But we know He's with you.
Yes. That's
okay.
Right.
All right. Well, as promised, folks, we've got Ben Myers here, one of my colleagues at the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com. And as I told you, he's been all up in the details and the weeds of what's going on with City Hall generally and the fiscal crisis, as well as the budget that we're looking at for 2026. So welcome to the Good Morning Show, Ben.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, this is Ben's first time at WBOK, so
right.
We're very happy that you got up early to come over to our talk radio station on the South Campus of Xavier University, and really looking forward to this conversation with our WBOK family of listeners we have a lot of people who are deeply interested in what's going on, and often with a lot of opinions about what's going on, but sometimes they need some information. So, but let's start with, who are you? Who your mama and them, Ben? Where you from? Give us a little background.
Sure. Well, I'm from Oak Park, Illinois, right outside Chicago. I moved to New Orleans in 2009. I originally came for a job with the City Business weekly business publication, and then eventually found myself at the NOLA.com under the old ownership. Then I joined the Advocate ownership, but in Lafayette. So I lived in Lafayette for 4 years, and then moved back for the City Hall beat job in 2021.
So when did you know that journalism was going to be your thing?
I started a little bit later, I think, than is typical. I was in my mid-20s, I think, when it sort of dawned on me that this was a good vocation for me.
And how is New Orleans compared to Oak Park?
Well, nothing is like New Orleans, and I figured that out really early and have been sort of stuck with the place since then. I can't find myself really, or can't really see myself anywhere else.
All right, so let's ease on into this conversation. So how long have you been on the City Hall beat and looking at money and budgets and city councils and mayors and that kind of thing?
Sure. Well, in this position for the Times Pick, I've been in the City Hall beat since August 21, so just a little more than 4 years. And inevitably, that deals a lot with budgets and money going different places. So, I mean, I find myself a lot of times just crunching budgets and whatnot.
So were you as surprised as a lot of us were that we went from talking about being in the red to having $65 million deficit to having a $70 or $80 million deficit to having a $100 million deficit to $160 million deficit?
It was jarring. For years, following the pandemic, we kept hearing the message. Well, I mean, there's a federal installment of aid, close to $400 million, and so figuring out how best to use that and whether to save some of it or use it for different priorities was sort of the big discussion. But the understanding is that the city had like a huge windfall to deal with or to administer. And then suddenly we're talking about having no cash in the bank account to pay employees potentially. They're working through that right now. Now, it should be said that some within the Cantrell administration started waving red flags around this about a year ago, earlier this year. And
was that the finance director in particular, or you?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Chief Financial Officer Romy Samuel was starting to make some warnings about this. Now, from the public's point of view, it was really the first that we had heard about any potential issues with a deficit or with cash flow at all. And it wasn't really well received, I should say. At the time, there was a big political fight between the council and the mayor over a settlement with the Orleans Parish School Board.
The $20 million dispute.
That's right. It was a larger settlement, but there was part of that was a $20 million cash payment divided into two different payments, including $10 million in this year's budget. That was agreed to by the city council, or it was sort of forged by the city council and the chief administrative officer at the time, Gilbert Montano. They made a big announcement about it in November. 2 months later, all of a sudden, the mayor is saying, no, we can't afford this, and Ms. Samuel is coming out and saying we are on track for a major problem. That took a lot of council members by surprise, and they were skeptical of it. They figured, one reason why they were skeptical is because the mayor said she hadn't even heard about the settlement or wasn't informed of it.
The CEO was a part of.
Yeah, and they made a big public announcement about it. So the council didn't really receive that well, and I don't think really maybe heard the message. Then slowly over time, and it should be said too that there were different mixed messages coming from the administration. On one hand, you had Gilbert Montano talking about, maybe we got to. The federal pandemic aid is starting to dry up, and we need to be more cautious. But we're going to be okay. Whereas Romy Samuel is saying we're going to have a big problem soon. The council was closer with Gilbert Montano, or they had more of a closer working relationship. So I think they heard his message a little bit more than they did Ms. Samuel. Mm-hmm. And what happened over time is that the message, they eventually started to agree. I mean, there was a lot of media around the sort of conflicting messages and the arguments within the administration, and they wanted to come out and show some unity. So they basically sort of came in the middle and said, we have to be careful, folks, but we're going to be okay. But then through the spring and the summer, it just progressively got worse to the point where they were predicting a $100 million budget deficit. Now, this had to do with two different things. One was some pretty significant overspending in the personnel and overtime. And then also we started to learn that the revenue forecast was wrong, or had been not predicted very well. So those two things added up to more than $1 million deficit. And that started to, that's a big problem, So that started to gain a little bit more attention, and folks were starting to wonder, how big this problem's going to get. But nobody could quite agree on what the number actually was, and we were hearing different things from the administration and the council members, and there were just for a period of a few weeks, there was a lot of just confusing information being thrown around, and finally both the administration and the council agreed to have the legislative auditor come in, look at the books, and give us a number. And everyone agreed to abide that number, or just to agree that's what the number is. And it was far worse. The auditor found a $160 million deficit. That just amped up all of the attention and the media around it. And all of a sudden, this is sort of like the number one City Hall story happening right now.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a full-blown crisis that we've unfortunately have been used to recently in covering, when the chief administrative officer, Joe Threat, came out and announced that not only do we have a budget deficit going into next year, but we are running out of money in the bank to pay city employees. So it's a cash flow crisis as well as a budget deficit crisis, and that just kind of just blew the roof off of everything, and has led to the council, and led by the mayor-elect Helena Moreno, who's currently on the council, to come up with a deal to issue short-term revenue bonds, which is like a payday loan for $125 million that her administration is going to have to pay off by the middle of next year, to sort of just get through this year.
Yeah, this is Will Sutton and Darrell Brown. We're here with Ben Myers from the Times-Picayune. It is 7:47 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 8 o'clock. Get up and get going, but please be safe. Ben, where are we now? Are we going to be able to pay the city employees through the end of the year, or just for a check or two?
I believe at this point and this has been very close to not coming through, but they've got this required some approval from some state officials, but they were able to get the wheels working in place for this short-term loan for $125 million. They're actually voting today in a special meeting to authorize this after having gotten the approvals from state officials for $125 million. And that ought to just Band-Aid the problem, at least for the rest of the year. At least that's what they expect. Now, they're also going to have to probably take out a little bit of money from this sort of rainy day fund that the city has, and it's required by the charter. You really don't want to touch that, if you don't have to. In fact, it takes a 2/3 council vote to do it. But this is the type of thing that it's there for when you literally have no money left.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm
question.
sorry. Yep.
Ben, you wrote in one of your articles a few weeks ago, a deficit is one thing, a payroll crisis is another.
Right.
Where did the city's cash go? Did you find any answers?
So they once CAO Threat made that big announcement, they had a big meeting with the council, and he gave some indications. I would say there wasn't a really fully, clearly explained reason as to why this was happening, but it seems at least what a contributing factor of this is this is going to be hard to explain without getting too technical and long-winded, but they were expecting some reimbursements, or I should say some payments on a FEMA grant for the big roads project that's been going on for years.
The $1.7 billion FEMA grant? Okay.
That's right. Typically, those come through advance payments as opposed to reimbursements. And the city had been expecting to get some of those advance payments. But the spending deadline on that grant is the end of the year, and they need FEMA to extend the spending deadline in order to release those funds. Now, it's a little bit confusing here because on one hand, they're saying that the failure to obtain those advance payments is part of the reason we're in a cash crisis, but they're not, and I don't believe they are, using those advance payments for general operations. So how exactly that led to a cash crunch is a little bit hard to understand, but it does seem clear that the city had started some of these projects with the expectation, and I don't know how much they've spent on them, if anything, really, on these projects they've started, with the expectation that that money would be forthcoming. I mean, Joe Threat did say very clearly at this meeting that not being able to get additional FEMA funds at the moment puts more pressure on the general fund, by which I think he meant we have to cover some of these expenses from our general fund if we're not getting these payments.
So how do you, go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
you made another great statement, Ben. You said payroll is paid from taxes, fees, and other standard sources of money. What happened? Were the fees, you mentioned about the revenues, but there's a shortfall with the revenues?
Yeah, there is, yes. I mean, the revenue that they were expecting for the year is not going to materialize like they thought it would. Now, does that lead to like having $0 in the bank? I don't really know. I think that it would be great if someone from the Cantrell administration would come and join you and more thoroughly explain exactly what happened, because it's really difficult.
Yeah.
Even in someone in it's my job to be there every day and just try to follow what they're saying, but it's really difficult to get really clear explanations and answers about what happened here. So that article you're mentioning,
yes,
just tries to get at some of the things that caught without but I don't really have a definitive answer.
Okay,
Mhm.
Will.
Yeah.
So one more quick question. On Monday's show, Amy McCarron said that the city was at least 2 months behind with its budget reports. Did you catch that too? Did you notice that the monthly reporting was at least 2 months behind?
I didn't catch her appearance on your show, but if she was talking about the budget committee not meeting as regularly as it had been before, is that what she was mentioning?
I think she was talking about from the executive branch, the reports were.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that. No.
But 2 months behind. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the problem of payroll, it seems we may have that fixed depending on actions today.
We have a Band-Aid.
And some follow-up that might take us through the end of the year. What do you see as the impact of that process on the budget for 2026? And it looks like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like the incumbent mayor is backing off of the budget process, and the mayor-elect has moved up to say, here's my budget plan.
The mayor-elect is certainly being very assertive. She led the delegation to work out this deal with state officials to approve these short-term bonds, and she's now made it clear that her team is going to come up with a bunch of amendments to Cantrell's proposal and basically come in with a budget that
It's actually a new budget.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna, there's gonna be a flurry starting over the next week. They've got to approve the budget by December 1st. I expect numerous amendments to what's already been proposed, and I don't know what they're going to be. But as to how this revenue bond Band-Aid affects next year's budget, this is something that's going to be a story next year. They've got to pay off $125 million by the middle of the year. So
money's got to come from somewhere.
I mean, what's very possible is that they'll have to take out additional revenue bonds, and then this is how payday loans work. They're at high interest, and they really hurt you.
It's like folks with multiple credit cards, when the second card is helping with the first card, and the third card would help them with the second.
And you just get deeper and deeper in the hole because of the interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one possibility, this almost seems unfathomable, but was that they could just reduce the budget by so much that they wouldn't have to take out much next year, or just try to cover that with savings by cutting into an already cut budget even further. That would mean a general fund budget of $600 million, which is about as unbelievably shriveled. The last time it was that level, I just looked it up this morning, was 2016. So that would be moving us back a decade. Now, I don't know if that's what they're going to do, so don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But that's what it would, if you didn't want to pay off any more revenue bonds or take out more revenue bonds next year, you would have to cut that much. So now I want to point out too, what we haven't heard from the mayor-elect is any measures to raise revenue. That's very difficult.
That's an important factor for developing a budget. What are you expecting?
It is. It's also very politically challenging.
Absolutely.
Because it would hit people in their pocketbooks. The Mayor Cantrell proposed a bunch of different measures, kind of on her way out, and the council hasn't really taken those up yet. Now that's understandable too, because we're going to have a new council members. I mean, in some ways, those conversations are more appropriate for next year anyway.
Mm-hmm. So, who's to blame? Who got us into this mess?
I think a lot of people and there's a lot of different causes here. We could start with the failure to heed Romy Samuel's warnings would be one. Also, we didn't cover this earlier, but a huge question about this year's budget was the failure to budget for overtime costs. There was for some reason, it was like this ridiculously small number, like $50,000. I don't know why it was that.
57,000, I think.
Yeah, 57,000.
Yeah, it was that's.
Well, I don't know who even budgeted that much.
That's not even one department.
Yeah. So, but essentially zero, which no one really seems to understand how that got to be. In the past, or the recent years, they were making up overtime costs through savings on open positions, and what appears to have happened is they just budgeted for existing positions and left nothing for overtime. At least that's how it appears. But there's actually, it looks like there's going to be some investigations into this. The OIG and the legislative auditor, I think, are going to kind of dig on this to get an answer for that. But if you're talking about who's to blame, that's one of the big things. I mean, overtime recently has been in the neighborhood of $50 million. So you just basically give yourself a $50 million hole to start the year. There's also been just sort of just spending that is hard to track. If you dig in deeper into the legislative auditor's report when he came out with that, with the $160 million deficit, he's got a whole bunch of line items with various spending issues or spending that was off budget.
Yeah.
That is sort of, it just kind of showed that we don't really have a window into how, and this is not just a Mayor Cantrell issue, but just how budgeting works in the city, that mayoral administrations just kind of move money around and you don't really know what's happening back there. Council President Morell is promoting at some point a charter amendment that would require much more detail when mayoral administrations want to move money around like that. Mm-hmm. So there's more transparency there.
Yeah.
So, that's another issue. Yeah.
Well, we got some more insights into the fiscal mess. Sounds like some of it will begin to be cleaned up this week, but more steps to take to make sure that city employees get the money that they are owed for their work. We don't want to be in a situation like federal employees being ordered to work and not being paid, and we're not sure we're going to be able to give you back pay. Who likes to work like that? That would be an entirely different kind of situation in New Orleans. And then, of course, we have the budget, which must be approved by December 1. Heck of a thing for the new administration come January 12th. Well, thank you, Ben Myers, for joining us today. Appreciate your insights and definitely appreciate your reporting. How can people contact you if they want to get in touch with you?
Email's great. bmyers, BMYERS @theadvocate.com. And thanks so much for having me. It was great to be here.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. When we come back from the break, we'll be talking more about the news and information that you want to know, should know, might want to know. And, of course, we want you to be careful with the babies out there. School zone speed limits are in effect until 9. And we're going to be hearing from New Orleans Health Department in a bit, too. WBOK, 12:30 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about. All day long.
Join the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce for the 12th Annual City Classic Golf Tournament Friday, November 21st at the Joseph Bartholomew Golf Course located at 6514 Congress Drive. Registration and breakfast start at 8:30 a.m. with a 10 a.m. shotgun start, and ladies with the drive tea time at 10:30 a.m. Don't miss this annual tradition of excellence on the green, brought to you by the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
When it comes to family planning, should you go with a will or a trust?
A will is like leaving instructions to the court. It tells them who gets what, but your family still has to go through a succession, which can be costly and time-consuming.
A trust, on the other hand, avoids court altogether. So when the time comes, everything transfers smoothly to your loved ones.
It's a little more work up front, but way less hassle and expense later. Plan smart, save time, and take care of your family.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. Debt Fix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for Debt Fix Pros. We called, and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now, and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call Debt Fix Pros right now at 800-311-5977. That's 800-311-5977. 800-311-5977. LifeCare provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, call LifeCare at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
Ever notice that everyone always wants more of a good thing? More rewards, more savings, more special offers? Well, when you become a new member of the Fuel Rewards program at Shell, that's exactly what you get. More. Join today to save 10 cents per gallon on your first fill, 20 cents on the second, and 30 cents on the third. Then enjoy everyday savings afterwards. Want more? Then head to Shell where members get more.
Offer valid from 4/21/25 through 10/31/25 at participating Shell locations. Offer must be redeemed within 60 days of registration. Limit 20 gallons. Restrictions apply. Visit fuelrewards.com/join25 for more information.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Interest in Turning Point USA is surging after Charlie Kirk's killing, but some Texas schools are blocking new chapters.
We've had chapters that started 2 months ago that are still not RSO'd by their schools because the administration drags their feet.
That's group member Ricky Adam. He says a counselor in Killeen ripped up student signs accusing them of spreading hate. A federal appeals court in Georgia has upheld hate crime convictions for the 3 men who killed Ahmaud Arbery. Defense lawyers argued racist texts and posts didn't prove motive, but judges disagreed. The men will remain in state prison. And Florida plans another execution Thursday. Richard Berry Randolph, a black man, is set to die by lethal injection for a 1988 convenience store sexual assault and murder. If carried out, it will be Florida's 17th execution this year, more than double the previous record. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
This is Dr. Jaquil Ross, the host for Talk That, NOLA Education, brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans. On Talk That, we'll be focusing on the amazing work of educators and students happening inside and around public schools in New Orleans. Our school communities are full of so much talent and promise, so let's talk about it. This month, we'll be joined by Jamar McNeely, Jarrell Bryant, and Dana Peterson for a discussion focused on the importance of black men in education. Also, we will hear from Kathleen Harris, Dr. Sheila Guidry, and Dr. Kelly Jordan to talk about how NSNO and NOLA Public Schools are supporting a growing English language learner population in our schools. Following that, we will have a conversation with a few representatives from NOLA Public Schools to talk about the upcoming enrollment window for school year 26-27 using the New Orleans Common Application process. So tune in to Talk That, NOLA Education, every Monday at 12:30 p.m. on 12:30 a.m. To learn more about NSNO and our programs, visit newschoolsforneworleans.org.
Good morning. Wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. For those of you all who have been listening to us this morning, I'm here with Daryl G. Brown. I am Will Sutton, and it is 8:08 a.m. here at the Good Morning Show. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. If you got something on your mind, something on your heart, something in your head that you want to share or ask a question about, let us know. And again, like my daddy used to say so long ago, you can call with a question and we'll do our best to give you an answer. But if not, we'll give you a response.
And Will, I'm going to say thanks to Ben Myers. That was just a great interview session about the crisis with our city hall, the city government, the deficit. And if you have any questions about that, any concerns, please give us a call. We'd like to hear from you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Ben is on this day in and day out. And, we could have spent probably 2 hours with Ben talking about the nitty gritty of what's going on and what happened. But clearly we got ourselves into a mess, and we're going to have to work our way out of this payroll mess first. But at the same time, not first, but at the same time as working on a budget for 2026. So based on what Ben just shared, it's certainly going to be interesting to see what the mayor-elect comes up with, knowing that won't have as much money to work with for 2026. And, of course, we got a couple of new players on city council, so they'll want to at least weigh in, even if they don't have a vote, because they won't be city council members until January 12th.
That's right.
But I'm sure they will be watching and talking and asking for reports and having conversations as well. So we've got a call. Well, I thought we had a call, but maybe we don't. Okay. Well, I want to give you some. All right, we do have a call. All right. Good morning, Raquel. It's Will Sutton and Darrell G. Brown. How are you?
I'm doing all right, Will. How y'all doing?
Fabulous, fabulous.
Great. Thank you for calling.
Always. Will already knows the caller that listens to WBOK all day long.
All day long. That's you. Did you hear Ben Myers?
Yes, I did.
What'd
That's
you
why
think?
I called to chime in on those on those comments that he had, which were very knowledgeable, I must say. So good job on that. And also, I just wanted to know, Will, at the end of the day, why those numbers are being challenged and being moved around, like, as, we all say right now, how they supposed to be shuffling the money or what have you, just to make, this, payroll or this amount, clear or what have you. But, Will, all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, I'm hoping and praying to God, if the city came to this point, I think the last time I can think of the city was in peril with this situation, I believe, is when we had a situation where we laid up there and had to go undercover, and we had to check somebody's freezer. So I'm just hoping and praying to God I ain't got the request to start checking everybody's freezer to make sure ain't no money being stuck in nowhere.
There you go,
Okay.
being messy. Yeah, I guess we do have to turn over some couch seats and look under the pillows to find some cash, don't we?
I'm calling it and declaring now somebody needs to go undercover. I guess we'll be able to try to find, we could uncover some money that's been lost or nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
I can think about, Will.
I hear you. Well, they're gonna have to. They're gonna find some money somehow. Hopefully, they'll do it legally
Yeah.
and
Yes,
in
that's all
order
we can
to
pray about is,
get us out of this
being
jam.
on legal terms, of course. And I wanted to also, Will, before I go, I must tell you, great job again on that perfect amount of temperature in that seat that you had for the governor. When I say it seemed like he was swarming out in that seat, that seat was cooking. Will, thank you, Jesus. Because he needed a hot seat for somebody, and for some, questions to be answered. So thank you, Will. Good job on that temperature, on that, and I hope that you keep that seat nice and warm and comfortable for the governor the next time he returns, okay?
Well, I sure hope he comes back, and I wanted to be respectful of the man in the office, but also ask some questions that I felt like a number of you all had on your mind. And so since we had that opportunity, I thought it was important to ask him those questions while we had a few minutes with him.
And you did a great job, Will. I must say you have, represented the whole city in one whole human body. So thank you so much, Will, and keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you, Raquel. You have a blessed day.
Okay, Raquel.
You
Thanks.
too.
All right. Wonderful. All right. Well, let me bring you up to date on a few other news items. And Daryl, I think we want to talk about the Border Patrol. Oh my goodness, that's kind of heating up. There was an 18-year-old New Orleans man arrested last week, and apparently for murdering his 9-month-old stepson. 9-month-old stepson. So bond was set for $2.75 million. First appearance at Orleans Parish Criminal District Court for Cornell Meare, I believe his last name is, Meare. He was the last person to have custody of the baby, according to the New Orleans police. And the child's mother found the kid unresponsive in Littlewoods on August 27th. So the arrest was made last week. So that's one of the things that happens with investigations, and a very unfortunate situation was resulted in a classification of a death as homicide and due to blunt force trauma to the baby's head and neck. Most unfortunate, not something you want to hear about. And if this man is convicted on first-degree murder charge, that could be a death sentence or life without parole. Meanwhile, over in Jefferson Parish, there was a Jefferson Parish deputy arrested. And Darius Johnson, 25, was booked with getting drugs into the correctional center and conspiracy to introduce contraband into the center with attempted drug distribution. Now, he's a part of the law enforcement operation, and he's alleged to be smuggling synthetic marijuana into the jail. So he's been fired. He's on the job for a year and a half, and he was assigned to inmate security, and he took advantage of that opportunity for some different kind of involvement, and now he has bail set at $70,000 as of yesterday, and now he's behind the bars at the place where he had been working.
That's right. Now he's a part of the inmate population now.
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder what goes on into the mindset of all people, police officers, deputies, sheriffs, when they become a part of the problem. And something else, Will, is that young man that killed that 9-month-old baby. A lot of young people get into parenthood too young.
Yep.
It's babies. Look, we all as parents, we know the stages that our kids went through. They don't sleep 8 p.m. to 9 to 6 a.m. They wake up throughout the night. They're hungry. They're hurting sometimes, and young people don't understand that sometimes. And it's a baby's call for a change of lifestyle. You have to commit everything to that child, and being a young 18, 17-year-old trying to go into adulthood is just. But I wish more young people, first of all, would avoid that until later in their lives. Avoid having kids until later in their lives. As a matter of fact, get married and so forth, preferably. But secondly, if you're going through a struggle, before you do something like this teen did, to take the baby's life and now his life, call for help. Ask somebody for help. Go to a local church or something. But you can get help before you make something, do something dangerous to harm or take a baby's life. That's unfortunate.
most unfortunate, and none of us want to see a life taken. We don't want to see people die. We know our end is coming, but we don't want to see that, but we know that's a part of what we live with.
Yes.
But we certainly don't want to see life taken. And to have such a young life taken where a baby like that can't communicate in the ways that an older person, not even a fully grown adult, can communicate, to express needs and desires and all. They're finding their way. They're learning to live. They're trying to communicate, but they're babies. They're babies.
That's
9
right.
months old.
That's right.
Yep. So meanwhile, Daryl, we've got a major national story that is heading our way. We got federal border patrol agents poised and ready to come into the New Orleans area, and not just in New Orleans apparently, but going to be in the area that includes New Orleans, Jefferson Parish, St. Bernard, and St. Tammany parishes, maybe Baton Rouge, and maybe even in the Mississippi. So we don't know how many. We don't know exactly when they're coming, but it's very clear that part of President Trump's signature program on anti-illegal immigration is coming our way. We've already had ICE move into the state, and of course we now have an ICE detention facility at Angola. So now we're going to have Border Patrol agents coming our way. He has already sent them to Chicago and Charlotte, and you were just mentioning something that happened in Charlotte, and that's kind of the impact of something like this when you have Border Patrol agents and ICE agents coming into your community.
That's right. Just this week, Monday, with the ICE agents in Charlotte, North Carolina, 21,000 Hispanic students stayed away from school Monday in fear of ICE, in fear of being arrested, in fear of being deported. And sometimes, with the way their practice is, they arrest first and ask questions later. Last week, there was a teen, I forgot what state, Will, but at a hearing, and he said something, a Hispanic teen said something that we can all relate to. He said they are stopping us, the ICE agents are stopping us and arresting us based on our skin color.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I said, now I see when Dr. King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Mm-hmm. Or if it was happening to us, maybe back then people were saying, well, it's not us, that's them. But saints of God, even for us. I'm sorry for that phrase. That's one of my phrases called saints of God. Yeah. But FABC, WBOK family, we're seeing something that this tide can easily turn to us as well. So, look, we support the immigrant families. I hate to use that word immigrant because they're people too.
Yeah.
And
well,
I
it's
think
immigration. I mean, you immigrate from one place to another. I don't see that as a negative.
Immigrants,
the idea of approaching people, assuming that they are not citizens, assuming that they are illegal, assuming that they are criminals, is just wrong.
That's right.
It's just wrong. And a lot of people have a good reason to be here, even born, raised, reared here. Why would you be approaching them based on how they look or where they work? So we got a caller. Ms. Jones, good morning. This is Will Sutton, and I'm here with Darryl G. Brown.
Hi, good morning to you all. Welcome, Reverend Darryl G. Brown.
Well, good morning.
It seems as though the Native Americans should be kicking everybody out. They're
Yeah.
the original ones here.
How about that?
Nothing has ever been said of them, even during COVID. I didn't hear anything nationwide or worldwide. And what's happened to them? The news reporter is probably not reporting it. If something is being done to them. And if you have a new Mexico, you have to have had old Mexico, which meant that they were around the borders.
Great points.
Uh-huh.
They were around the borders.
Great point.
And the Asians, too, on West Coast, California, San Francisco. I mean, how dare the people? And I hate to say, put a damp on it. We want to observe Thanksgiving.
Yep.
According to the history I read, it was celebrating the massacre of the people that were here. Every day is a day for Thanksgiving.
You got a good point there. And here we are. We're trying to kick people out, and even those that are not being kicked out, they're being detained, being arrested, being harassed. That is not the way I think most of us want to live, even if it's not us who are being approached. As this continues, we're bound to know some of the people who are involved.
Yes.
That can't be Trump by himself because he's not that smart. He's crazy. He looks horrible right now. I don't care how he looks, really. He could actually, I wouldn't miss him. But it's something is just wrong. It's not just him. And I never could understand why the Latinos are supportive of him. I mean, he's been telling lies all the way. Lies on top of lie and reverse lies. When something's the truth, he tells a lie. Lie, he tells it. I can't say truth because everything he's proven has been untrue, just about, or don't know. So there's got to be something behind it. And all the people, those Republicans who are afraid to go against him, they're scared stiff, something's wrong.
Well, we saw something yesterday when the Republicans voted with the Democrats to pass the Epstein bill.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then the House, the Senate, overwhelmingly passed it as well. So now we're going to see what's going to happen next. Will the president sign it? And even if he signs it, will the Department of Justice release all of the files? So that's something that we have to wait and see. As one commentator said, I will not hold my breath, but it's something definitely for believing people to pray about as well, because something is happening.
My hand on a chopping block on some things.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Have a blessed day.
You.
Good morning, James. This is Will Sutton, and I'm on with Darrell G. Brown. How are you?
I'm well, brothers. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sorry I missed the Landry thing, but I'm definitely going to go check it out. I have a little information. Y'all just mentioned something about the immigrants being detained and harassed. Well, I'm going to tell you, go a little bit deeper than that. The ones that's here legally with work visas and the like, they are being harassed, detained, and when they let them go, they will not give them their proper paperwork. So they season the paperwork, which means that they can now not go and get that required paperwork again because they have no identification and no proof to back it up. So now they are, in effect, becoming illegal. They're stripping them of the paperwork. It's kind of like you walking in the dark on a dark road for your master back in the days with your freedom paper or your look, he allowed to go run this errand from the people, and they take that and ship you up the river to somebody else's plantation. But it's a sad shame what we're doing here.
Yeah, I've heard about that, James. That people are some of their personal items are being taken, and definitely some of their wallets, driver's license, other documentation that they have with them are being confiscated, and so they walk away They're not detained. They're not arrested. But now they have no proof of who they are. Now they don't have an official driver's license. Now they don't have a state ID. And that puts them in a rather precarious situation.
That's correct. So, we don't, we're not judging these people for voting for the president, because that's the past now. But the mistreatment of them, if we stand by, we just keep watching it, man, it's gonna hit us all. It's gonna hit the white ones too. So I just want everybody to be clear that they're not playing the game fair. And these people coming down, watching children. If the children out there doing something they shouldn't ought to be doing, they slamming them too. So I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna listen, man. I just wanted to impart that.
All right. Well, have a blessed day, James. We got, according to the Associated Press, we got about 250 of these Border Patrol agents coming our way. 250 of them. We don't exactly know the where or the when, but folks, I know our listening audience is larger than New Orleans, so the plans call for them to be not just in New Orleans, but in Jefferson, St. Bernard, St. Tammany, Baton Rouge, and Mississippi. So be aware and be safe as the Border Patrol folks come our way. You heard New Orleans Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick talk with us just on Tuesday morning, which was the most significant update that we've had recently about what's going on. And my colleague, James Finn and Lara Nicholson, have talked to a number of local officials, not just in Orleans, but elsewhere, and they have not been briefed. This is a problem.
Wow.
This is a problem. We have to stay tuned, see what's going to be going on, and keep each other informed. This is WBOK, 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Every year, the lights return to City Park, and as if by magic, so do we. Families reunited, kids wide-eyed, old memories meeting new ones. Celebration in the Oaks is more than a holiday tradition. It is where New Orleans comes together to shine. Don't miss the magic. Make Celebration in the Oaks your holiday tradition and help City Park shine for generations to come. Go to celebrationintheoaks.com and grab your tickets before they're gone.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
You've got responsibilities, but that doesn't mean your dreams are on hold. At Southern University at New Orleans, our evening and weekend college is designed with your life in mind. Finish your degree, start a new one, on your time, your degree, your schedule. No excuses, just opportunity. Visit suno.edu and make your next move today.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here at WBOK 1230 AM. I am Will Sutton, and with me is Minister Darrell G. Brown.
Good morning.
Thank you for sticking and staying with us.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor.
All right. Well, we really have to watch that Border Patrol development. 250 agents coming our way. And again, I want to emphasize not just to the city of New Orleans, but to this region.
Yes.
So we haven't had any official announcements about this, but based on the reports of local media, they've actually seen the plans, and the agents are coming. The agents are coming. And we heard some from New Orleans Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick on Tuesday. She was expecting to get briefed this week, as are other local elected officials and important officials. But as far as we know, nobody's been given the full update about what's going to happen, when, where, and why. So meanwhile, we're going to jump into conversation with Dr. Lacey Tillman from the New Orleans Health Department. And we understand this is your first time here?
It sure is.
Well, good morning.
Well,
and
thank
you for coming.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Well, we're going to be talking about diabetes prevention and things that go into all of that. But tell us a little about you. Who your mama in there?
Oh, well, my mother is actually, her name is Mary. She's back in New Mexico. I'm from New Mexico.
Okay, cool. What part?
From Gallup. Gallup,
Okay.
New Mexico.
Okay.
So on close to the Navajo reservation.
Many years ago, I was in Cimarron.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is so far away from the. Oh, so that talk about rural. Talk about country.
Yes.
And it's beautiful out there.
It is.
I'm Navajo. I'm Native American.
Yeah.
So I'm from the reservation. I grew up there, in the country, raising sheep with my grandmother, going into the mountains during the summer. So my family's still back there, and they enjoy it. I don't think they're ever going to leave. And my kids love going back there for the summer.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's
great.
part. It's part of them.
How long you been in New Orleans?
I've been here on and off for about 15 years.
Yeah. Cool.
And
How long you been with the New Orleans Health Department?
I'll be going on 2 years in next year. So a year. I'm already projecting next
All right,
year and
all
saying
right.
I'm
Well,
going to be there
good.
for a long time.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk diabetes. So tell us a little bit about your role with chronic disease, first of all, so we kind of get a sense of what you do with the health department.
Yes, I am the current chronic disease program manager. So I am in charge of just anything you can think of that's chronic disease, which is a huge umbrella. There's a variety. There's a lot of chronic diseases out there, one of which is diabetes. So in my wheelhouse, I like to focus on prevention strategies, trying to prevent these conditions from developing in our population. And it's unfortunately a large issue here in New Orleans. There's a lot of risk factors that are associated with chronic diseases that we can change. They're called modifiable risk factors. So things that we can change, that we're in control of. And that's what I like to focus on. Not saying we're not looking at, managing diseases, which we have direct services, takes care of that, getting healthcare access, helping people get their medicine, and helping them support them in their condition management. So yeah, with me, I like to focus on chronic conditions and preventing them.
I have a question for you,
Yeah,
Will.
please.
You said it's a real huge issue here in New Orleans. How great are the numbers? What kind of numbers are we talking about?
Well, I'm happy you mentioned that. They're pretty stark. At least in Orleans Parish alone, there's about 26% of the population has diabetes. There's
26%.
And that's higher than the national average.
Yeah.
And in terms of pre-diabetes, I don't know if y'all ever heard of pre-diabetes. It's when
Yes.
your blood sugar is high, but it's not high enough to where you're diagnosed with
Getting close.
diabetes. Yeah, you're right there at the borderline.
That's where I am.
Oh gosh. So you're about that 1 in 4 people right now. So about 40% of the population, and a lot of them, about 90%, don't know it. They don't know they're pre-diabetic. And they can actually take control of it and move the needle back to not being pre-diabetic. And that's what the diabetes prevention program is focused on. It's focused on lifestyle changes. So making changes that not only impact you immediately, but also ensure that you maintain these changes over a lifetime. So you can delay and prevent the onset of diabetes. And that, I think that's awesome. It's a game changer, and it does require commitment. It requires commitment and dedication. But I mean, I know we make habits all the time. We can break them, we can change them, and we can turn around.
We can, it is New Orleans.
That's right.
Yes, and that's what's great about the city. The city's so vibrant. They're up for the challenge, and they're ready to take charge of their lives. And I'm really happy that we can bring this program here to the community because our city deserves it. They deserve to be healthy.
Wow.
And it's all about moderation. We don't tell you can never eat this. You can never do this. It's about moderation.
So there's a type 2 diabetes prevention program?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that.
Yes, we actually launched beginning of the year. It's the first CDC recognized diabetes prevention program here in the city, and that's CDC recognized. Don't get me wrong, there are diabetes prevention programs that exist within certain organizations and which you would call exclusive. Okay. Maybe they only offer it to their employees. They only offer it to their population or their group of people. Whereas with the health department, we're free and we're open to the public. Anybody?
Whoa.
Yes.
So there are programs like this, but you have to be a part of a certain group or company or
yes,
something.
Yes, sir. Or you got to pay.
And we don't have to pay for this one?
Yes, sir. Don't got to pay.
So you have to be a registered voter?
No, you don't.
We're trying to find some reasons, right?
I will say this: Orleans
some
Parish.
Excuses.
Yeah, we're in Orleans Parish, so we serve those in Orleans Parish. We're also open to other people around, our surrounding borders if they're willing and they want to make these changes. We're open.
Okay, tell us how this works.
Okay, so first of all, we do a vetting process. We determine your eligibility. It's for adults. It's adults only. You have to not have a previous diagnosis of diabetes, so you can't be diabetic. There's other programs that can address that. We're focused on preventative prediabetes. And you also have to basically be overweight. It's not required, but generally it's if you fall into that bracket or those eligibility requirements and you want to make a change, and you also need to have a high risk factors. Maybe you have a family member that is diabetic, or you have a history of diabetes in your family, or maybe you're afraid, you don't want to get diabetes and you want to make a change. We're open to taking you, enrolling you in the program, because it's not a fad diet. It's not an exercise program. It's a lifestyle change program where you learn about how to eat healthy. You know how doctors tell you got to eat healthy. You got to exercise.
Yeah, exercise and eat better.
But they're only with you for like 5 minutes.
Right.
But with us, it's over the course of a year. You learn how to eat healthy, how to exercise, how to manage your stress, how to sleep, how to improve your sleep quality, how to and really just increase your ability to make changes. So a lot of it's behavioral. A lot of it is about your mindset. What do you do if you make a mistake? If you fall into a pit of, hot Cheetos and think you can never go back? Well, you can. You can reset and start again. So that's what this program is about.
So are these live and in-person classes? Do you have to be a part of a certain cohort for research purposes, or how does this work?
Yes, it is in person. We prefer in-person classes because it's more personable, and you also get the support of your other cohort participants. I'm glad you mentioned that, because we do run in cohorts. Think about it like your graduating class. You go through the years of grade school with a certain group of people, and that's the same thing with the diabetes prevention program. You have a group of people that you start with on day 1, session 1, and you work through with them all the way to session 22. So it's a great opportunity to build social support and to learn from each other. Because
So part of the eligibility is to be a resident of Orleans, not a voter.
mm-hmm.
Part of it is one additional requirement would be being overweight, and another would be risk factors of some kind
for diabetes.
for
yes.
diabetes.
Yes, and
And
an
that
adult.
is something that, and being an adult, so you can evaluate folks based on that. But if there is an adult who knows that he or she is overweight or even obese,
Mm-hmm.
more likely than not, they qualify.
Oh yeah, we know that there are certain CDC requirements to keep our what they call our recognition. There's levels of recognition, and we know that we want to recruit certain people so that we maintain that recognition. And one of them also is A1C. If you know that your A1C is in that pre-diabetic range, that of course would qualify you and help us with our CDC reporting. But again, like I said, we're also open to people who may not have their CDC, their A1C test result. Maybe it's on the cusp. Maybe it's 5.0. Maybe it's 4 point something, but it's elevated, and it's not pre-diabetic, but it's there. So we've had people like that where they get their A1C test and it's maybe 5.0 or 5.2, and they're like, you know what, I'm concerned. I want to do something about this. Can you help me? Can I join the program? We say, yeah, come on. Come
So
join
how
us.
often does the program, a new cohort, start?
We start every year. We try to be consistently in having a new cohort in different locations every year. So now we have 2 cohorts running, and they started at the beginning of this year. One at City Hall, and then also at Edna Pillsbury. And we're actively recruiting for next year for the same one, for another cohort at City Hall, another cohort at Edna Pillsbury, and we're really, really wanting to start one in Algiers and also in New Orleans East.
Wow.
Yeah, the interest isn't really there in Algiers and New Orleans East. We're having quite a bit of struggles trying to get people to sign up.
You want people in Algiers and New Orleans East to step up.
Yeah,
say they
come
wanna
join
be a part of
us.
the program. Okay, and do the groups meet once a week or once a month, or how does that go?
And for
Okay.
how long?
It's over the course of a year, so it's a year
Yes.
commitment.
How long for each class?
For you mean the time?
Yeah, the time.
Oh, it'll be an hour. So we
An
want to
hour.
keep it an hour. The first 8 sessions, they're weekly. So it tapers off. It starts weekly, goes into bi-weekly, and goes into monthly. Kind of like that that weaning effect. We want to
Yeah,
allow
okay.
you to
Yes.
get comfortable, not having us, to hold your hand or to be there to coach you along. Even though we're available for one-on-one sessions. If somebody they need extra help, we're there. But we just want to make sure that people are getting comfortable, not being in the sessions and, practicing their skills. So it starts weekly, goes into bi-weekly, and then into monthly.
I have a question.
Mhm.
You said your statement was 90% of the people don't know.
Don't know that they have
They have
pre-diabetes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does your program go to the people by any chance? Do you guys have a bus or something, a health bus, where you go to communities and make announcements and do pre-diabetic testing?
Not right now. We're looking for funding to actually do something like that. What we do is we go to community events. We hit as many community events as we can anytime anybody wants us to table or they want information about our program. I have interns that go to the libraries, the recreation centers, the health clinics, and some of the hospitals, and trying to recruit not only participants, but also trying to educate the physicians about our program, because we take referrals too. If a doctor comes across a patient and they fall within these eligibility requirements, they can send us a referral and let us know that, hey, we have a patient here and they're wanting to join the program, or I think they're a good candidate, and we'll contact them and ask them questions about their eligibility and determine whether or not they want to make this commitment.
Now, does the health department partner with any other hospitals, like New Orleans East Hospital, and where you can hold those classes there?
We've been working on that, actually. We've been working on it actively, trying to get a space in certain places, clinics, hospitals, where we can deliver these classes. But I think we find it that when it's more of a community location, maybe it's a bit more inviting, like
Yes.
Joe Brown out in Algiers,
Yes.
or finding a place out in Joe Brown in
New Orleans East. Yeah,
yes,
right,
yes.
right.
Remember, I'm still new, and also in Algiers, finding a place there where people feel comfortable, and and also allow me to bring snacks, because that's also a requirement. Healthy snacks.
Healthy
at these
snacks
snacks.
are a requirement.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. That sounds good. Now, do you have to be tested to get into the program, or is that something you do with your personal physician?
We would prefer it that an individual get their A1C test done at the start of the program, so we can have that baseline to determine, what changes, what impact was made in their A1C. In fact, we do have a participant right now who was pre-diabetic at the beginning of the program, and she just told me that she is no longer pre-diabetic. She just had her test. Yeah, I am
Very
so
good.
excited.
That's great.
I mean, small wins. I'll take
Yep,
them. I'll take them
absolutely.
anywhere.
Well, big win for her.
Yes.
I know we only have another couple of minutes, so let's talk about the Alzheimer's initiative.
Yes, sir. Next year, we're hoping to host what they call community convenings. So really just working to find out, what does New Orleans, how do they want to attack Alzheimer's, and educating the community about what I talked about, modifiable risk factors that are associated with Alzheimer's and dementia. And coincidentally, majority of the risk factors that are associated with Alzheimer's and dementia are actually the same across a lot of other chronic diseases. So you have physical inactivity, you have obesity, depression, poor sleep quality, stress. So that just those couple of risk factors are pretty much the same collectively in other chronic diseases. So we really do want to focus on next year to address the dementia risk factors and educate the public.
Wonderful. So how can people get in touch with you and the health department to inquire about the diabetes prevention program?
Yes, sir.
And the Alzheimer's initiative?
Yes, they can visit our website at www.nola.gov/DPP. That's directly to the Diabetes Prevention Program.
DPP.
DPP. Get down with the DPP.
All right. Listen to her. All right, Dr. Tillman. Well, thank you so much for joining us here at the Good Morning Show, taking some of your time. We know you don't have to be here, but this was a lot of good information. And who knew a free diabetes prevention program available for Orleans residents who are adults and overweight or other risk factors. Did I get it close
Yes,
to right?
you did.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, thank you again for spending time with us. And folks, it is 8:52 a.m. We only have a few more minutes. And then we're going to have to get out of the way and make room for the front porch with Graylin and Kemba. But we do have a few minutes with you. If you want to give a ring, 504-582-9422. Meanwhile, this is WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Benefit Solution Group annual enrollment period update. Who do I have on the line with me today?
Hey, this is Lori Swanigan, CEO of the Benefit Solutions Group.
And I'm Vanessa Scott, broker senior advisor with the Benefit Solutions Group.
Can you guys tell me what is annual enrollment period?
The annual enrollment period, the acronym for it is AEP. It starts October the 15th and it goes through December the 7th.
Why is open enrollment so important?
It is a time for anyone with Medicare, any person with a red, white, white and blue card can actually get a plan. There are forms that you need to fill out to even get your prescription drugs. So can we go ahead and throw that number out there?
Yes, let's do it.
Again, that number is 504-621-3687. Awesome. And that's going to be Vanessa Scott coming to your doorstep.
It's Benefit Solution Group. Don't let the laws change and leave you stuck out. Get your Medicare review today at 504-621-3687. Benefit Solution Group is a licensed independent agency not affiliated with the U.S. government. We offer Medicare, Advantage Part D, and Medicare plans for major carriers in our market area.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Comparing the cost of will, successions, and trusts.
A will might only be a few $100s, but your family could end up paying more in legal fees.
Trust costs more upfront, but saves time, stress, and potentially thousands.
Think of it as paying a little now to avoid a big bill later. Smart planning means big savings for your family. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. Debt Fix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for Debt Fix Pros. We called, and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now, and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call Debt Fix Pros right now at 800-311-5977. That's 800-311-5977. 800-311-5977.
New Orleans, this is Councilman Freddie King III. This holiday season, we're inspiring the city by giving back with our annual Inspire the City Turkey and Ham Giveaway.
And this is Kim Charbonnet of the Sixth Ward Steppers. Please join us on Tuesday, November 25th at Alice Hart Charter School at 10 a.m., and then we'll be at Mahalia Jackson Theater for 2.
Each vehicle will receive a turkey or ham, a perishable food package, and limited gas cards will be available while supplies last.
We're coming together to make sure families across New Orleans feel the love this Thanksgiving.
Because when we come together, we inspire the city.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. For those of you all who have been with us during the Good Morning Show since the beginning or whenever you tuned in on AM radio, on the internet, or on Facebook Live, we appreciate each and every one of you. It is 8:56 a.m., so just a few more minutes for the school zone speed limit, so be careful out there. Watch out for our babies and make sure that you're safe and that you are being safe with others. What a good conversation, Darryl.
Great conversation.
With Dr. Tillman about diabetes generally, and in particular that diabetes program. I had no idea.
Oh, the same here.
That's wonderful. Another example of, I think, government working.
Yes.
Government working. I mean, sometimes, people's like, why do we have to pay all these taxes? Well, here's a program that's going to help people get more healthy. And I like the idea of participating myself, but I also like the idea of people having access to a program that can help them be more healthy. Because, yes, I want what's good for me, but I also want what's good for my community and what's good for our society.
Yes, and that's a heads up for us to take care of our health and to be more conscious of it. And if you find yourself obese, overweight, or just get a checkup and find out where you stand with diabetes. Especially you have older people as well. Well, you want to do all you can to help them with those dealing with type 2 diabetes.
Yep. And pre-diabetes, you can catch it. You can catch it on the front end and reduce those factors and that risk. So that's good. But what a good show. I mean, man, some real good health information with Dr. Tillman just now from the New Orleans Health Department.
Yes.
And good conversations about the Border Patrol. And they're coming, folks, 250 of them coming into New Orleans and surrounding areas. So keep watch for that, and we'll keep you informed here at WBOK. And my goodness, Ben Myers.
Ben Myers. Yes. Awesome.
With,
Thank you, Ben.
all things fiscal and City Hall and the deficit and the budget. And, man, there's so much going on there. And the fact that he does this day in and day out, and there are answers that he still doesn't have.
Wow.
I mean, imagine the rest of us. Well, we still have questions, and he does this for a living.
Yes.
And he has questions.
Wow.
So quite a thing. Well, you got something?
Yes, sir. I just want to say, go back to the first story you broke with this morning, Xavier University.
Yeah, boy.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, yep. $38 million
Yes.
unrestricted funds from Mackenzie Scott, one of several HBCUs, but this is one of ours right here in New Orleans. Big news, big congratulations to all Xavierites for doing this. And just a reminder that this is not something that you can apply for. They identify you. They identify you and say, we like what you're doing, and here's some millions of dollars. What an incredible thing.
Wow.
Incredible. All right, well, we're going to have to make way for the front porch. I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Minister Darrell G. Brown.
Thank
you for coming back.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And you've got the front porch coming up, and as is true each and every day with the front porch, they're going to have some fun. They're going to have some conversation. They're going to talk about the culture, and you don't know what might be coming up, but we know that it's going to be good. All right, WBOK, 12:30 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about
all day long.